Welcome to Everything Old is New again. This is Douglas Viviani with the movie connoisseur himself, David Cohen.
Connoisseur, huh?
Yeah, you like that?
No, it's a bit of an overreach, but all right, sure.
Such as your overreach about a half a year ago when you said Ben-Hur with this particular actor, what was his name? I forget the guy. It was going to be good. Remember you said that?
Well, I thought I couldn't be bad because of his acting abilities.
Houston
is
the last name. I forget that.
Jack Houston.
Jack Houston, yeah. And it was.
And it was bad. I didn't see it. I just read it. I didn't even bother to see it because the reviews were so bad.
Well, that's the whole thing. This year alone, we've seen tons of remakes, such as Blair Witch, Ghostbusters, Magnificent Seven, Tarzan, and Ben-Hur. Some were kind of successful, but most were like complete disasters.
Critical disasters, you mean? Not financial?
Yeah, financial, mostly disasters, too. Well, let's be clear. We're not talking about sequels. We're talking about remakes of movies that have already existed in the past.
That's what today's show is.
Correct. So I just want to be clear about that before we, because that could be confusing.
Right.
It's easier to just remake a movie. I know that, because you've already got the existing script or outline, and you've got a built-in audience. But is it smart to do? Let's look at the money of those movies I mentioned just for a moment. Blair Witch made $44 million out of 5. That's Blair Witch 2. Well, now I guess it's Blair Witch, not 2.
Yeah, it was sort of like a reboot or whatever.
$44 million with a $5 million budget, so that worked.
It's pretty good.
That was not bad. Ghostbusters had a $144 million budget, only made $229 only. If you add in advertising, they usually say advertising that used to be half of the budget amount for worldwide advertising. If that's the case, that one lost money. At least broke even, right? Magnificent Seven made a little bit of money. It was a $90 million budget, $160 million they made. But it wasn't like, in today's world,
right,
that's worldwide. We're not talking about huge bucks. Tarzan made a couple dollars, $357 again, worldwide, $180 million budget. So, again, it's not a huge disaster, but it wasn't out of this, it wasn't this huge blockbuster. And again, I'm talking worldwide, which is huge numbers worldwide, huge numbers of possible people, obviously, than just America. So these movies, I kind of they didn't make a splash. No one's talking about them. Let's put it that way. When Ben-Hur came out, it won 11 Academy Awards.
The original.
This thing was that was a remake, too, because they did it a silent movie.
Silent movie, right.
But that was a instant classic, if you ask me. I think in this one, I saw it, they changed the focus to the chariot race. And the chariot race was the only thing that was going to save the world and save his world. And he had to kill his stepbrother, if you want to call that, Marsalis. He had to kill him to gain revenge for his family. That's not what the original Ben-Hur was about. There was much more to it than that, and he didn't intend to kill anybody when he was in the chariot race. He wanted to win the chariot race so he gained credibility back again in the Roman society that he was shunned.
So you're saying it's not Jack Houston's fault, the actors. It was the way the movie was rewritten.
I would say that, yes.
The focus was wrong.
Yes, the focus was wrong. A more modern focus on the individual and on revenge as opposed to the much larger social picture that movie was trying to present.
It doesn't surprise me that they're going to focus more on the action and not so much on the story. It's pretty stupid, but they figure that's where they're going to make the money, right? It's an action movie, quote unquote.
I agree 100%. And away from anything spiritual whatsoever, all into the secular. And that's, again, not what this movie was about. And there's more to life than revenge. Let's just hear a smidge of the presentation of Charlton Heston, just to remember or refresh your memory if you haven't seen it, or introduce you to it if you haven't seen it, the original Ben-Hur. 50
You may conquer the land. You may slaughter the people. That is not the end. We will rise again. The day Rome falls, there will be a shout of freedom such as the world has never heard before. I don't believe in miracles.
No, life is a miracle.
Now, Charlton Heston, underrated or not?
Underrated?
Do you think he was underrated?
No.
You think he was revered when he was alive for his acting chops, or no?
I think he was revered as a movie star.
Yeah, you go. That's a good point.
Yeah.
He was definitely a movie star.
Right.
I think may have been underrated for his ability to act, or at least he almost is in the. Am I wrong to say that he's in the or Shatner is in the Charlton Heston vein of overacting? There are some scenes of Heston's over the top.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But it worked so well.
But he was Charlton Heston, right? He was bigger than life.
He was. I mean, amazing, amazing actor. If you haven't seen any of his movies, you're not going to be disappointed with any of them. He even did some spaghetti westerns that were over the top good. But that's the movie you're going to remake? 11 Academy Awards. It was a 3.5-hour movie with an intermission. It was a spectacle. It was a phenomenon of the day. It really was. It was over the top. That's the movie that you want to remake.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't buy it at all. I would like you just to tune in to a little bit of a presentation from young David Cohen to present to us a list of failed remakes, and these are recent movies from, say, 1990 on.
But we're talking more failed in terms of quality of the movie. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, exactly. So give that a shot. I'm curious to see what there is.
Okay, here we go. Tarzan. War Games, Poltergeist, Ben-Hur, Bewitched, Annie, Karate Kid, Planet of the Apes. Well, that was pretty good.
No, it was about the one with Marky Mark.
First remake. Okay, got it. RoboCop, Halloween, Arthur. I'm getting sick just reading this because I remember these movies. Bad News Bears, Little Rascals, Total Recall, The Honeymooners, Psycho. Why? Poseidon Adventure. The remake called Poseidon.
Yeah.
Day the Earth Stood Still. Total Recall. That was remade. Right. That was bad. Fright Night. Frankenstein. Hercules. Dracula. The Wolfman. They're being remade every year. Blues Brothers. Ugh. The Invasion, which was a remake of The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Footloose. Fame. The Manchurian Candidate. I didn't even know that was remade. The Longest Yard. The War of the Worlds. The Omen. The Omen was remade?
Yep.
The Fantastic Four. Yeah, how many times is that going to be remade? Stepford Wives. Walking Tall. The Day the Earth Stood Still. The Thing. Guess Who, which is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner remake. They remade that?
Yes.
The Time Machine, Rollerball, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Pink Panther. That was a while ago, but yeah, those are. I mean, it's horrendous.
If you were to read that list of movies you would recommend to someone to see, and not say that I'm talking about the most recent one, but the original, that list would take an entirely different take.
Right.
You would say, wow, that's a great list. I want to see almost all of those movies
That's
if
true.
I haven't seen them.
That's true.
And now when you hear the list in the vein of these were remade, you say that because they're so unforgettable. They were horrible.
And, well, because, first of all, the horror of the fact that they would remake some of them to begin with, but also just knowing when you think about the remakes and how bad the remakes were, makes you kind of gag.
Yes, exactly. Let's play this real quick. Can we slip this in there? Let's just hear a little.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! It's a madhouse! A madhouse! Really did it. You maniac! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! Damn you all to hell!
That's my man. We'll be back right after this.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Neely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-960-5543. I used to be so broke, I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-960-5543. 1-800-960-5543.
This show is sponsored by the law office of Douglas Viviani. Douglas Viviani has been providing quality legal services for over 26 years. We are a general practice firm and can handle any legal matter you may have for a reasonable fee. If you were involved in a car accident, starting a business, planning your estate, or need of a criminal attorney, please call 631-681-1910 or email us at vivianilaw@aol.com. Get the justice you deserve. Contact the law office of Douglas Viviani.
Anyone can create a podcast on the web. In fact, there are millions of them online. But if you want quality internet talk radio, just remember this address, TalkZone.com. TalkZone is internet talk radio for planet Earth with talented hosts, great guests, and good conversation. Ready to share your thoughts and ideas with a global audience? Become a TalkZone show host yourself. Learn more at TalkZone.com. Internet talk radio for planet Earth.
TalkZone.com.
Are you thirsty for books that will fill your soul with wisdom, joy, and inspiration? Then take a refreshing and nourishing drink at Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore, located in the heart of the Agape International Spiritual Center in Culver City, which incidentally was recently featured on The Today Show. From aromatic soy candles to best-selling authors like Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and a whole host of other visionaries, Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore has everything to soothe your body, spirit, and soul. For more info and directions, visit agapelive.com today.
Hey, Bonnie, your ride is looking sweet, and that bumping sound.
Yeah, Kamish, thanks for your referral to Alan Ed's Auto Sound and their expert installations with custom sound systems.
That's right, Kamish. Alan Ed's has a wide variety of mobile electronics and accessories from car stereos to vehicle security, including complete interior and exterior upgrades, as well as a full line of restyling options for your car, truck, boat, or off-road vehicle. Alan Ed serves the Inland Empire and San Diego and Los Angeles counties. You can also catch Alan Ed's Auto Sound at upcoming events: Extreme Auto Fest, Hot Import Nights, OC Block Party, The Dub Show, the Lowrider Super Show, SEMA in Vegas, and also the LA Auto Show. Stop by the Alan Ed's Auto Sound booth and see our friend Alden Allen, the event coordinator and social media specialist.
Check out Alan Ed's Auto Sound website at www.al-eds.com or call 888-900-8800.
Alan Ed's Auto Sound. Big bump.
Get total freedom in your life safely and quickly. Build wealth and passive income so you never worry about working till you drop, losing your job, or retiring in poverty. Hi, I'm Steve Davis, an investor in thousands of units over the years. Now it's your turn. Del Walmsley has been my mentor for nearly 25 years, and he's taught over 100,000 people just like you the principles of financial freedom through live one-on-one mentoring at Lifestyles Unlimited and his national radio show. I'm excited to tell you about the real estate workshop that changed my life. The workshop gets you on the inside of what we do and what we believe and unlocks the 5 ways we make money in real estate. Just like your personal trainer, Lifestyles Unlimited will motivate, encourage, and teach you so you can get in the best financial shape of your life. Call 866-971-8970 or go to getmymapnow.com. That's getmymapnow.com to register for the workshop that will change your life and let you stop worrying about working till you drop, losing your job, or retiring in poverty.
When you reach for the tissues this flu season, think Empire Clinical Research. Empire Clinical Research is currently enrolling people sick with the flu in a new flu study to find out if an investigational flu drug can speed up their recovery. Qualified participants will be compensated up to $800 for time and travel if they complete all study visits. Call Empire Clinical Research as soon as the flu symptoms appear at 909-981-5321. Again, that's 909-981-5321. Number again, 981-5321. And remember, qualified participants will be compensated up to $800 for time and travel if they complete all study visits. Call Empire Clinical Research as soon as the flu symptoms appear.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
100,000 years ago, it found its way into our galaxy, trapped in the frozen wasteland of Antarctica. Now the men of Station 4 have made a monumental discovery. An alien creature had frozen, but not to death. And man is the warmest place to hide.
We're on Everything Old is New again. We're talking about remakes of old movies, usually classics, and seeing and questioning whether it should be done or not. Now, in this instance, the movie was called The Thing in the 50s, 1951. If you ever watched Gunsmoke, you ever seen this on the old reruns? You got James Arness as Matt Dillon, I guess is his name, right? Isn't that the character?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and he's the big sheriff. He's a cool cat, and he's running around, saving the day. Well, back in 51, he did a movie before Gunsmoke. He did a movie called The Thing, and he was the Thing, running around and almost like a Frankenstein-ish kind of character, killing these guys up in the Antarctic. John Carpenter, remember this director? He did Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Back in the 80s.
Yep, and he went ahead and redid The Thing in 82 with Kurt Russell. To me, that was a great remake, well done. No? Oh, yes.
I don't remember it.
Oh, man.
I'll take your word for it. And I don't even know if I've seen it.
You got to see it.
But it was 35 years ago. If I did, I don't remember.
It was tremendous. And then they've redone it again. It was absolutely horrible. Recently, they've redone it. It's on that list. So there's a unique one where the original it's an original movie from the 50s where the special effects helped it, as it developed over time in the 80s when this was done in 82, and the thing, turns and metamorphoses into other people and so forth.
I thought that I couldn't believe they were redoing Spider-Man so quickly after the first series with what's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, but I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know if you had seen it when it came out, but it was really well done.
Because they changed a lot of it. There was the origin story. The second one was the origin story with Gwen Stacy.
Right.
You remember?
Yeah.
And it was the original origin story from the comics. The first one with Tobey Maguire, which was great, really advanced. They did like 10 years of the story. They had the different girlfriend, and so they skipped over the original story about that and how she passed away and all this. So there was room to really dive in and get the real true story.
Yeah,
and both actors, I think, did a great job.
Yeah.
I just thought both of them were great. I agree with you.
But wasn't it crazy to think they were doing it so
it made no
soon
sense.
after?
Made no sense.
The huge success of the first one?
Especially since the comic's been around since, the mid-'60s. There's so many stories that you can develop. We're going to do the same origin story? What? Why?
Right. But that was sort of an anomaly because that actually worked.
And they now have a third... You saw Civil War, the new Spider-Man character, the actor...
is going to be in...
another sequel.
Right.
Because the original... what was that fellow's name? Garfield.
Yeah.
Kind of upset the producers of his franchise, and he was doing a great job with it, and the producers got so upset he was at an event, he wouldn't come down from the hotel room to see the financiers of the movie.
Ooh.
For whatever reason. I don't know if he's right or wrong about it, but it upset the financiers so much that they said, fire this guy, we'll get somebody else.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Crazy. Then it was Batman Begins, remember that? I mean, Batman existed before, but not really in a real movie. It was a TV movie. Remember the TV show into a movie? So there really wasn't. So Tim Burton in 89 made a big statement with Batman.
Yeah.
And then in 2000, and that was Michael Keaton, right? 2005, Christian Bale came along, and they rebooted that franchise. Again, I think they did a great job. Both, I don't think really 89 Batman, the original story, kind of holds up. I don't know. The Tim Burton, do you still watch that anymore?
Yeah.
Kind of dark.
Kind of.
In the day, it was great. But
yeah.
But lost its charm, I think. But the new series, those three were great with Christian Bale. No, you didn't like
I'm not that big a fan. I hate to say it.
All right, so we're not universal on that one. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this one. I think this was a great remake of an old classic.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me the first time when I was alone.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please. Help me.
I don't know about you, but I was so eerie. I really thought that was a great, scary, horrifying love story. No?
With Jeff Goldblum?
Yes. I really enjoy that. And that is a remake of the original with David Hennessy we spoke
now,
about.
That's been 30 years, so you think they're going to do it again?
Oh, no, I'm saying that now I'm just talking about kind of the ones that I like.
No, but I'm saying, do you think,
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
Because you thought the one in 86 was that
really good. The sequel to that with Stoltz, what fellow's name?
Oh yeah,
Eric Stoltz was okay. Wasn't terrible. I think it's enough with that already. I don't know.
Fly should just be put to rest, right?
Exactly. And once you kill a fly with a fly swatter, it doesn't come back to life, does it? How about Scarface with Al Pacino?
Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you, Tony?
The world should go. And everything in it. Say hello to my little friend!
There he is, huh? Now that was a great sequel. No, not sequel, am I saying? Great remake of a movie. Did you know that was an original movie, Scarface?
Yes, I did, but I don't. That doesn't count.
Why not?
The original movie was it was almost a silent movie. How long ago was the original
G. Robinson.
Scarface?
It was 40s. Mid-40s.
Yeah.
It's 40 years later. I'm sorry, wait a minute. The original, let me be clear about this. You're right, it was 1932. Let me be clear.
That was, yeah.
So that's
very
50
different,
years later.
Very different kind of movie.
Yes, but still, it was the same person.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
I never thought the second was good either.
You didn't
Sorry.
like the Scarface?
Nah.
A lot of blood and guts, a lot of violence.
Over the top.
Yeah. All right, well, a lot of people like it.
How about something more current? I see you have another one that was successful that came out fairly recently.
Fairly recently.
Okay, but play your clip.
Try the
What's your connection with this fella? I was his lawyer.
Every way you turn, I guess we're gonna run into each other.
Dad, you should have just punched him out.
Come out wherever you are. Every good man's got to wrestle with the devil. Hold you the hell off my property!
It would be unethical of me to advise a citizen to take the law into his own hands.
Cape Fear originally in 1962 with Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum, who both made appearances in the reboot or the remake in 1991 with Robert De Niro. I think it was done great, but now there's two others I don't have clips for that I think you want to talk about, which does make sense. True Grit, remember, with Jeff Bridges?
Sure.
Redid that's hard to do with John Wayne.
Hard.
Redid John Wayne.
Right.
And what'd you think of it?
That's very risky.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I thought it was successful. I thought that, they did a really good job.
Because he didn't try to be John Wayne.
No.
He played it totally, he's a good actor. He played it totally different.
Right.
And so it did. I think it worked. And they took it seriously, which they should. And then I think one that you really are hot and heavy on is this Mad Max.
Oh, yeah. What a great movie.
From just this last year.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's better than the Mel Gibson franchise?
I do. To me, it's just a more interesting story. They made the story more interesting. I think the original Mad Max was unique in that, just the overall theme of what they were doing was kind of weird and out there. And Mel Gibson was fine in it, and it was a very cultish kind of film. But this one, to me, the remake, I just understood what was going on more, and it made more sense. I think the story was a little more fuller. And they had more characters, and there were more women, which was always nice to see. Not just, you know what I mean. I mean, just the diversity was great.
Yes. Yeah. I can jump on board with that. I would also tend to say that sometimes the original movie doesn't have time to explore the backstories as much as they want to. And once you've already gotten the story out there,
that's an interesting point.
They're taking more of a chance to go into the backstory.
True.
It's more fun. We'll be back. Never, ever, ever redo Casablanca, please. Everything old is new again.
The fundamental things apply.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-7237. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-7237. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-7237. That's 1-800-940-7237.
When you're seeking to change your career, apply for a promotion, or trying to find a job, your resume is the first thing that's seen that represents you to a potential employer. Make sure your resume makes a clear, concise, and professional impression of who you are so you can get that job interview. Send your current resume to ResumeDrInc@AOL.com for a free online review. You'll receive a timely reply with a reasonable quote to properly prepare your resume. Let them make sure you have a resume that will get you noticed. Send your resume or questions to ResumeDrInc@AOL.com.
CPAP.com.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. Now there's finally a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, and if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 days. So call now, 1-800-441-0474. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. To guarantee your 10-day in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-441-0474. Again, that's 1-800-441-0474.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. President Trump has no regrets about his negative comments about some judges.
Presidents have commented on judicial nominees. I mean, the idea of one branch talking about or commenting on another branch is as old as our republic.
Spokesman Sean Spicer in his daily briefing, the president very unhappy about the fact that his controversial immigration travel ban was suspended by a federal judge in Washington state. Speaking of that ban, an Arizona mom at the center of an immigration battle is back in her native Mexico. Her family with the news outside of immigration and custom enforcement offices in Phoenix.
And today we're bringing the news that Guadalupe is in Nogales. She has been deported, and this has been one of the first victims of President Trump.
She may be the first person to be deported under the portion of President Trump's executive order, which says illegal immigrants with histories of arrest may be removed. The 36-year-old mother of two convicted 8 years ago of working in the U.S. illegally. She's been living in the U.S. since coming here from Mexico at the age of 14. Around a half dozen people were arrested last night for trying to stop the deportation. More than 3,500 flights now canceled as a powerful winter storm blankets the Northeast. Boston Logan, Newark Liberty, LaGuardia, and JFK International among the hardest hit, with up to 70% of today's flight schedule disrupted. Thousands of travelers remain stranded as heavy snow continues to fall across the region. On this day in 1964, more than 73 million people tuned in to see the Beatles on The Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, yeah. Tell you something, I think you'll understand.
It was the U.S. television debut of the Fab Four, and the rest is history. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd. For this afternoon, it'll be sunny. Expect a high near 82. Calm wind out of the west at 5. Cloudy tonight with a low of 54. Chance of rain after 10 a.m. Friday. Should be mostly cloudy with the high near 69. Friday night, rain likely, cloudy, then becoming partly cloudy with a low of 48. Saturday, it'll be sunny with the high of 63. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM, 3 in 1, the trifecta of talk in Southern California.
This is KCAA.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again, with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Inside of us, we both know you belong with Victor. You're part of his work, the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
But what about us?
We'll always have Paris. We didn't have, we lost it until you came to Casablanca. We got it back last night.
When I said I would never leave you.
And you never will. And I've got a job to do, too.
Where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be any part of.
Humphrey Bogart in the most famous speech, maybe one of the most famous speeches in movie history, from Casablanca. This is Douglas Viviani, one of the most famous counterparts to David Cohen in history. And I wanted to play that because we're talking about films and remakes, and in this section, I would say remakes of movies that should never ever happen. Am I wrong? I mean, I don't.
Not.
You know, there's been a lot of movies ever made, and to say that was the best movie ever made is a statement. It's one of the best movies ever made for sure.
I agree with that.
Depends on what genre you like, science fiction versus romance, and all that stuff. But the lines from that movie, the acting, the tears at the end of, if you feel going there, the action if you feel like going there, the political intrigue, and I mean. I guess
even the last line of the movie. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Louis, I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Exactly, and I don't know. It's just me. I think that is something to be admired, especially the acting and all the people, and of course Bogey. To me, is beyond reproach. I think he's underrated now because it's been so long since he's been on the screen. But
because he's dead, it's been a while.
But I mean, the stuff that he produced was just I don't know, so cool.
Yes,
that's the best word for it. It's cool before cool was cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right,
totally agree.
Along those lines, I am now going to give you and anyone listening a quiz. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 7 again. So 14 movies that I am suggesting should never, ever, ever be remade. And if Hollywood, you don't listen to this, it's at your own peril.
So these movies were never remade.
Correct.
And you're saying they should never be remade.
Do it, please. So grab a pen and a piece of paper and try to write down, because you'll hear clips in a row now of 7 movies. Now, if you're a movie fan, it probably won't be hard to do. But there might be 1 or 2 that's a little difficult. But I think for the most part, you're going to get them, because it's hard, because these are all going to be classic, of course, movies that should not be remade. Let's see. I'm going to put the pressure on on you now to make sure you get them all right. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
All the gin joints in all the towns in all the world. She walks into mine.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Hell, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Rosebud.
You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view.
Those millions of people. I never knew it would come to that. You must believe it.
Hey, Yada, it came to that the first time you sentenced a man to death. You knew to be innocent.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that it's 8:25?
Precisely.
Damn, I'm late for school.
There we go. Okay. There might be 1 or 2 that's a little difficult, and they're all dated. They're all older movies, but I think we get a kick out of this. Let's try the first one was easy. That was Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Second one, I don't give it. Frankly,
Scarlett, I don't give a damn. It's like, oh no, the title of the movie. It's a Civil War movie.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's
gone
with
from
a
your
W.
memory?
W, Gone with the Wind.
There you go. You agree with me about Casablanca? I think. Now, what about Gone with the Wind? Do you agree that should not be remade? Again, I don't love that movie, but come on.
No, there's no reason to remake it.
Come on.
No.
What was the next one?
2001: Space Odyssey.
Dave, I think there's no purpose for this conversation.
Right.
That is pretty much what you say to me at the end of the show. You agree that shouldn't be remade?
No.
Come on.
No reason.
Citizen Kane.
Kane should not be remade.
That's perfection in moviedom. I mean, that challenges for the best of all time.
That's probably why it was never remade.
I hope not. What's the next one?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
That was, underrated, don't you think? I mean, people don't really talk about it.
It was underrated.
Okay.
I think it was rated pretty
No, I'm talking
highly.
about now. Is it like, when you say greatest movies of all time, I don't think people mention To Kill a Mockingbird.
Maybe
they
not.
do.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Time goes,
But
and you kind of forget things.
There's no need to remake it because you just have to watch that one.
It's perfection.
Right.
This one you may have a tough time.
12 Angry Men?
We had Stanley Kramer's wife on the show, and it was Stanley Kramer movie.
Not 12 Angry Men. That's
Nope,
not a
Judgment
thing.
at Nuremberg.
Judgment at
I
Nuremberg.
mean, that movie should be shown in every high school class.
You know, the only reason I would say that should be remade is because of the importance of the movie. So I don't know if kids are going to watch, you know.
True, but how do you do better than Spencer Tracy and that whole list of actors, including William Shatner, the least of which I will say in that. But you had an unbelievable cast.
What's his name?
Gregory Peck and
yeah, I know, but that
Maximilian
Schell.
Yes,
wow.
It was unreal. Yeah, Judy Garland. I mean, you know, you can go on and on. It was
cast of thousands,
beyond good and disturbing as it should be.
Right.
And what a tremendous lesson it teaches. All right, let's go. And beyond that, after that,
Back to the Future.
Exactly. All right, let's try. We're running out of time. Let's try. Do you agree with all those?
I agree with all. Should not be remade. Put a little asterisk next to Judgment because of the importance of it. But yes,
understood.
Okay.
All right, but I don't think I think it may ruin it. I don't know. You know, you'd have to have a ton of money to get the quality actors that you need to redo that and director. But you know, it seems like one that Spielberg kind of could do. You know?
Yeah, true.
But all right, let's try the next quiz.
$10,000 for me by myself. For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Not the man I knew 10 years ago.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. That's all over the second we ride up Troy's bucket.
E.T. home phone.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day.
All right, there you go. Now, you may not agree with me, and I don't think I could say that all of those are classic movies, but for certain reasons, I don't think they should be remade.
Right.
All right, so the first one's got to be easy.
Jaws.
All right. Second one, you may have struggled a little bit.
I couldn't figure that one out.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I took an obscure quote to try to get it hard.
Okay.
So, I mean, do you think Raiders could be done better? Is there any reason to?
No, can't think of one.
Just
doesn't mean it won't be, but I can't think of a reason to do it.
Right. Next one, you didn't get this one.
Well, I heard E.T., but I don't know if that
E.T.
was. No, I didn't get that.
Goonies. Now, only because it's hard to capture.
And I never saw
kids.
it, so I.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
It's the way the kids acted and represented every man in every kiddom in society, so to speak. There is that one. Why I say that. Then, of course, E.T. What about the next one after that?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. That's
Yes.
what I meant to write down.
Next one.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, and
Godfather.
There you go. Godfather, another one that could be one of the best movies ever made.
Yes.
So in that vein, I'm not always saying it's got to be classic. There are some that there's no need to remake it, even though it may not be the greatest movie in the planet. But most of those, I would suggest.
I mean, Jaws was remade several times.
Well, sequels, not.
Yeah, but I know.
I'm talking about redoing the original
like
story.
a reboot.
Right.
Yeah.
No reason to do it. Godfather, come on, you're not touching that.
No.
Right? All right, we'll be back.
I really hope
It's
not.
true. We're back on Everything Old is New again to continue and finish off films that should not be made. What one should be. Everything Old is.
This is an urgent message for all individuals struggling with extremely large credit card debt. No matter how much you owe on your credit cards, the company that has settled more debt than anyone in the U.S. could settle your debt too, while you make one low monthly program payment. If you're serious about resolving your credit card debt, you have the opportunity to hear how low your monthly program payment could be for free. This free information is available now, courtesy of Freedom Debt Relief, the company that gets results. Call 1-800-574-8022. Repeat, if you are struggling with extremely large credit card debt, you may have the ability to reduce your total debt and get one simple low monthly program payment. This could allow you to resolve your debt faster than you thought possible. Call Freedom Debt Relief now to learn how much you could save. 1-800-574-8022. This life-changing information is available free only to those serious about dealing with their credit card debt. Call 1-800-574-8022. 1-800-574-8022.
Say,
Hey, Charlie, why the arm in the sling?
Yeah, I walked straight into that busted street sign in front of Frank's Automat.
Well, you must have been really sore at him.
You said it, pal. I said, say, what's the big idea of making a fella trip out there? I was going to sock him right in the kisser.
He's all wet. Why, you ought to sue him, Charlie.
I have half a mind to do just that. But where am I going to get that kind of dough?
Say, I know a fella just got me out of a big jam, and he didn't break the bank.
You don't say.
Yeah, the law office of Douglas Viviani.
The law office of Douglas Viviani?
That's right, the law office of Douglas Viviani.
Viviani.
That's what I said, Viviani.
Are you a straight shooter?
He's a cat's meow.
He's on the up and up?
Doug's ace is with me.
Is that so?
He's a bee's knees.
Well, that's just swell. You have his number?
You can call him at 631-681-1910 or email him at vivianilaw.com.
Wait, what was that last part?
What, email?
Yeah, what's email?
vivianilaw.com.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Moms and dads, do you remember when you'd go to the movies to see good guys who were actually good guys?
The Lone Ranger!
Relive those moments and share them with your family using the new Spider app, available for both Apple and Android devices.
So that's what's behind all this.
It's a free download.
I'd be a fool not to at that price.
Treat your family to great entertainment.
I've got all the proof I need.
That's SPYDAR.
Well, I guess that ends it.
Spider. Do it now.
CR England Transportation, one of the largest trucking firms in the country, is hiring diesel and trailer mechanics with a $2,000 sign-on bonus, top pay, and benefits for qualified mechanics. To apply, visit www.crengland.com/careers. That's www.crengland.com/careers.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or no Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of AM First Radio Network by calling 605-477-4700. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. Saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Call 605-477-4700 to listen on demand. Anytime. Anywhere.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Vampires, alive among the lifeless, that make the night hideous with their inhuman cravings. A world of inanimate zombies by day, irresistible, horrifying attackers by night.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. That sounds like my New Year's Eve. We've got a discussion here of films that maybe should be remade now that have not yet been remade. That's one. If you remember our discussion, we go a little ways back. You can look it up on the podcast, everythingoldisnewagain.biz. Everythingoldisnewagain.biz. Take a look. You'll see we talk about The Last Man on Earth, 1964. Vincent Price and Richard Matheson wrote that movie and wrote the original book that it was based upon. It was remade later with Charlton Heston and Omega Man. Later after that, it was remade into I Am Legend with what's his name? Will Smith. But the thing is, I don't think the remakes, which were good, got it. The original thing with that movie was that the killer of the movies. The human being who killed all these zombies was the villain. Because the new society, like it or not, were the zombies. And he was their nightmare of killing the zombies during the day when they couldn't come out, if that made sense.
Yes.
So, but that take on the whole thing has been lost. Even down to Night of the Living Dead, down to Walking Dead, that whole thing has now been lost. Who's the villain? Society, it's like the Apocalypse Now in a way. Society changed. What is more insane? The person that tries to change what is society now, or the society itself that may be just zombies? That's insane unto itself to us, but to them it's not. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, but so that kind of could be redone with that take on it. That's just my point of view. Do you have any others that you think should be redone that have not been?
Well, there's a recent one that came out because I enjoyed the book so much, and the movie was such a disappointment. Do you ever read the book or see the movie Goodbye Girl? It was Ben Affleck was in it, and it came out, I think.
You talking about the original Goodbye Girl with not Neil Simon?
No, Gone Girl. Sorry, Gone Girl. I'm thinking of the 80s. Gone Girl.
No.
Awesome book. Could have been a great movie, and it was awful. Awful. Should be redone.
Another Ben Affleck situation.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Right.
I have one that I think is pretty cool that could be redone. To me, Matt Helm, if you haven't heard of this, it's back in the 60s, Dean Martin was Matt Helm. He took it tongue-in-cheek. He was a James Bondish type of character, and I think that if you go back to the books, it's more or less like a Jason Bourne type of character. He was supposed to be serious, kind of an agent, and not a parody of the spy genre, but he had certain things, certain charms that didn't or hasn't been seen, if you read the books, in the movies now. Although they're trying to, the new James Bond is, if you look at it, is Matt Helm-esque, very realistic. Not all this James Bond gadgetry and all that. Just a real down-to-earth spy that's got problems. He's got a drinking problem. He's really having difficulties doing this job. He's got no support. And how does he do this job without all these technological advantages? If that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's just me. I don't know.
Good.
That's kind of a good one. What do you have any in mind that you might think of?
No, do another one because I'm close to one. But
all right,
but go ahead.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's a good one.
Was done. Yeah. You've talked about that. We had a show on the Victorian Avengers. Right. If you look back and want to listen to that, and we spoke about different teams. That was kind of an all-star team of Victorian era superheroes. I just think it's a great idea in the comics. Wasn't fleshed out beautifully or perfectly in the comics, and certainly wasn't fleshed out well in the film arena. But I think now with the advances of what we've done and what they've done with the upcoming League of Justice League, as well as all the Avenger movies, they've learned, I think, how to make this kind of team superhero movie work. And with these characters, I think it would be very unique to see Captain Nemo and Alan Quatermain and so forth together solving a mystery and fighting evil. What do you think?
I agree.
So close?
I strongly agree with that. I like that.
All right. You got any others?
I'm trying to think of movies where older movies that had really good premises, but the special effects weren't there yet because it was just too early on to take full advantage of it.
You can't think of one? I got one in mind right now.
Go ahead, go, yeah.
We did a show on Star Wars, but we inferred it came from Flash Gordon. And they redid the Flash Gordon, and it was a spoof. It wasn't. It's a fun kind of campy movie, but if you go back to the original, it's a serious serial.
Yeah.
Look at that, and if you want to remake that could be like a Westworld. Take a look at that and redo the serial of Flash Gordon with the new technology.
I think it could
be fun.
Really well. Yeah,
because it's a great story. Of this underdog football player, he's indoctrinated into having to save the world because he's thrown into space and whatever. It's I don't know. To me, that would be kind of a good one.
Yeah,
I agree. Any others in mind or no? I've got one, the superstar of all superstars, and one that has got to be made.
You've been doing well. Go ahead, give me another one.
All right, this has got to be remade. It's called Fantastic Voyage from the 60s.
Now, a film called Fantastic Voyage has broken through in an unexpected direction to create an adventure of astonishing suspense and beauty. 4 men and a beautiful girl, off on a fantastic voyage, actually entering inside the human body.
So there we go. I'm so enthralled. I wanted to hear more. Again, because of the technology and the sort of cool adventure it would be, and maybe even educational for that matter. What that was they shrunk down into a submarine, or in a submarine, along with a submarine, these 4 characters, and put them into I think it was the President of the United States or some important person's body, had an incurable disease or incurable problem that they could not cure unless they sent in intelligent antibodies, if you will, into the person's body. So they went in and tried to cure him of his problem, and danger ensued because the body itself was attacking them. And then you learn about different parts of the body when you're going through the bloodstream and all of this, and how they're going to get to where this problem originated, as well as the interaction with the people, and then the problem of how we getting out. And by the way, if we miss they were supposed to get out through a certain way, and they couldn't get out that way, they had to figure out, how am I getting out of the body before we blow up? We only have a certain period of time, and then we're going to be life-size again, and if we do that, it's going to be like Alien, we're going to come out of this guy's stomach, and kill him. So, I don't know. I think it's got so much possibility. You tell me.
Yeah, I agree with that, too. I think you're spot on here.
I think I've thought about it. All right, let me just, we have short on time, unfortunately. I want to show you and tell you about what's upcoming, and let's see if we like or don't like what's happening.
Give them a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, Chips are going to remake.
Why?
Flatliners they're remaking. Jumanji, I think, could have potential. I don't think that was done well.
It's about the toys?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the game, the board game. I don't think it was done well.
Nah.
The Mummy with Tom Cruise this time.
Really?
Friday the 13th.
Oh, please, come on.
Murder on the Orient Express could be done well. I don't like the mystery. I think it's a silly ending, but that has nothing to do with the movie. I think it was written poorly.
But there's a whole generation of people that don't know the end.
Yes, so but it's a total cop-out.
Yeah.
That's just me, but yeah, I think that's right.
Well,
that's
I'd much rather see the other one she wrote, not Murder on the Orient Express, but the Indians, the 12 something, where they all start dying one by one.
Yes, I know the.
You know what I mean.
We don't,
okay.
You're right. $6 billion Man. Then in 2018, Robin Hood they're redoing. King Arthur.
What's King Arthur?
Well, Knights of the Round Table, all that stuff.
Like Camelot? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. Maybe. The Predator. That's never been done right.
No, it hasn't.
It's done a million times. Maybe the story's just not there, the Predator.
The Predator, really?
Yep. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a long story one, and A Star is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
I spent 30 years trying to prove
this is the only one to watch. Skull Island's on the way back. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hopefully we'll get a few good remakes coming up.
I got some great ideas. I hope Hollywood's listening and give me a call. We'll work out a deal. Everything old is new again. Come on back. We'll have some fun on the radio.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret that credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-976-3267. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Credit Associates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-976-3267. That's 1-800-976-3267.
If you or someone you love is suffering from hearing loss, please stay tuned for a special free offer from the makers of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit the ear almost invisibly, and it can be adjusted to find the perfect way to hear everything in every listening environment. Right now, we're offering absolutely free in-home trials to everyone who calls now. 1-800-713-9374. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is lightweight and practically invisible, so people won't notice when you're wearing it. So again, if you or someone you love is suffering from hearing loss, please give them or yourself this life-changing 100% free in-home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-713-9374. That's 1-800-713-9374. 1-800-713-9374.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC. It's happened again. Fast food giant Arby's, the latest chain to see its payment systems breached by malicious software, putting info of more than 350,000 customer credit and debit cards at risk. It was only at restaurants that are owned by the chain, though, not at ones owned by franchisees. Fresh new records high for all the major averages today on Wall Street following a round of strong earnings ahead of the opening bell. And President Trump saying he's close to announcing his overhaul of the nation's tax codes. The Dow today up 118 points on the news, the Nasdaq adding 32. Earlier, President Trump met with top airline executives talking about job creation, rebuilding airport infrastructure, and privatizing and modernizing the nation's air traffic control system. Meantime, FlightAware reports that airlines canceled 4,000 flights nationwide today and tomorrow because of a massive snowstorm slamming the entire Northeast. Tom Busby, CNBC.
America, it's time for some straight talk. You love your phone. Look at you. You hardly put it down. But you don't love that expensive wireless plan, do you? So what if I told you can keep that phone network and number 2 for half the cost? Well, this is me telling you. It's time to switch to Straight Talk, guys. Bring your own phone and get unlimited plans starting at just $45 a month on America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks. Straight Talk Wireless. Only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. A month equals 30 days. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Samsung's washers and dryers don't just have features for brilliant performance. They're brilliantly priced, too.
How brilliant?
Buy the pair with up to $600 off.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, and you can purchase in-store now. Samsung. Bring it home.
Offer valid January 11th through March 1st at participating retailers. Discount taken off regular retail prices. Retailer's displayed price reflects discount. Actual discount may vary by model and retailer. Offer is non-transferable and void where prohibited or restricted by law. Prices is marked.
A busy night in the NBA included the Clippers rallying past the Knicks 119-115. It was former Knick Jamal Crawford who had a tie-breaking three-pointer with little more than a minute left. But another former Knick, Charles Oakley, made headlines during the game, arrested after a first-quarter scuffle with Madison Square Garden security guards just off the court. Elsewhere, the Kings cooled off the Celtics 108-92. Boston had won 7 straight. Warriors blew away the Bulls 123-92. The T-Wolves clawed past the Raptors 112-109. Jazz tuned up the Pelicans 127-94. Grizzlies eclipsed the Suns 110-91. Heat burned the Bucks 106-88 for their 11th straight win. The Nets have lost 11 in a row. They fell in overtime to the Wizards 114-110. Pistons ran over the Lakers 121-102. The Hawks flew by the Nuggets 117-106. Cavaliers pummeled the Pacers 132-117. And the Spurs kicked the 76ers 111-103. That's sports. Marker Day, NBC News Radio.
Did you know that more than 100,000 people a day are downloading game apps? Mobile apps have become a normal part of everyday lives. Now there's a new exciting sports app that lets you play along with your favorite professional sports team in real time. With this fantastic app, you can predict the next play and even outguess your favorite team members. The more predictions you get correct, the more points you receive. Points can be exchanged for cool prizes, like your favorite jerseys, hats, airline tickets, sports tickets, even a new car. You can play this amazing sports app by yourself, with your friends, or even with a large group of fans from all over the world. This incredible sports app is called Fire Fan, and it's available right now. Check it out. Sign up today at www.freefirefanapp.com.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd. For this afternoon, it'll be sunny. Expect a high near 82. Calm wind out of the west at 5. Cloudy tonight with a low of 54. Chance of rain after 10 a.m. Friday. Should be mostly cloudy with the high near 69. Friday night, rain likely, cloudy, then becoming partly cloudy with a low of 48. Saturday, it'll be sunny with the high of 63. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM. 3 in 1, the trifecta of talk in Southern California.
This is KCAA.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
All right. Oh, thank you. I get an applause for once.
Wait a minute. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One finger for. Okay. Thanks, Rich.
That's a two-finger approach. Applause, yes.
Okay. Well, like he said in the intro there, this is the Flip Flop Investor Show. This is where we talk about real estate investing here locally in the Inland Empire and abroad. We could talk about real estate really anywhere, but we live here, we operate here, so we talk about it here. Today, we're going to have a shopping episode, which is great. And we have one of the fellow KCAA radio broadcasters with us, Bev. How you doing, Bev?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
Doing well.
And I'll tell you, you look really spiffy today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I wear this every Thursday. I should get it cleaned at some point. No.
Yes.
I wash it weekly, very weekly.
Do you
Cold water or warm water?
No, wait a minute. Do you or your other half washes it?
Actually, we pay a laundry service to do our laundry.
Oh, give me the number.
Sure, yeah. They're in Riverside. They're great.
Do they pick up and deliver?
They do. I'm just outside of their area, so I got to drop off. But it's
okay.
fine because I can do my laundry in about 5 minutes a day or a week because it takes about a minute to drop it off and about 4 minutes to pick it up.
I got to find somebody like that. You know, our hours are getting so screwy, you know, and you see this pile in the laundry room and you're going, shut the door, I don't want to look at it yet. And like we were talking earlier, on Sunday is my day off. And usually that's when I play Susie Homemaker.
Mm-hmm.
That means the laundry.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going, oh, God, come on. Got to be a different way to do this.
There is. And I love it. Ever since we switched, because I was giving up an entire weekend day to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather spend time with my family, go do something. I don't want to stay at home all day focusing on laundry and, you know, mowing the lawn and all that. So I hire every service out I can possibly hire out.
I want to see pictures of you doing the laundry.
Oh, man.
That might be interesting.
I think the last time I did laundry was 10 years ago. You know,
you lucky man, you.
My wife is great. She always does laundry. Prior to that, now it's like one load a month that we may end up doing at home.
Well, with him, he knows what the room is. He sees a washer dry. That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
You know, he has no clue how to do washer dry.
I just say, what's that doing there? Shouldn't it be cleaned?
You know what? It's a good racket to pretend to know how to use the machine.
Yes.
I get it. It makes sense. You just act like you don't know what you're doing and somebody say, here, let me take over.
Yeah, that's why his pile's going like this, while mine is coming down like that.
The honey-do list. Yeah.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk to Rich because we're going to save the shopping stuff for later because we talk about the flips, we talk about the flops on the show, but we've talked more about the flips lately, and I want to talk about a flop. And this is a flop that took a long time that Rich was involved in, and that's how I met you guys, was through this flop. Was, what, 2 years ago?
Approximately.
But it was 2 years ago I met you, but you started dealing with this, what?
Oh, a year and a half before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Well, you know, I'm a Pollock, so it took me all my life to learn how to do the biggest real estate flop you could ever do.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's the biggest. So don't, you know.
I feel better already.
You don't have to feel too bad about it, but it was a flop, and I think really what it was being nice, you know.
Yes.
Being nice. It's a business for us, you know, but it's not a business for the people that occupy our property.
Well, some people are in the business of taking advantage of other people.
Sure.
So just to give you the background on this, since we're alluding to it here, I was loaning money out to people to do their flips, and it went just fine. Usually it was a contractor, and he'd borrow something, and within 3 months, 4 months, paid me back with interest, and there we went.
Yeah.
And I was looking to get some more money out there, and this strange deal came up. But it was a good amount of money, and I didn't go by my own rules that I had set. I violated them.
Rule number one, don't break the rules.
Yes.
Yes. So, and I didn't inspect this house as close as I should have. So when we got a report on it from the appraiser, there were a few mistakes, like air conditioning was supposed to be there brand new, but it wasn't. And things like that got overlooked going in, once I got in and I loaned the money and I was going up there to check things out, I said, how'd they miss that? But one of my rules was, and this is for me, I don't know if it's for everybody, never loan more than about $100,000 on one house.
Okay.
In other words, if you have $1 million, loan to 10 people, don't loan $1 million to one, because
Sure.
when he fails, you're done.
Right.
So that was rule one. I went almost double that. Not the thing to do. Number two, I would have checked more. If I'm loaning money to a flipper, I want to know everything I can about him, not just the usual stuff.
Mhm.
What I found out is you can go to the Hall of Records and find out if they've been in court or whatever.
Absolutely.
You can also do DMV. And a few other things like that you might not normally think of.
Right.
Because that might give you an inclination of who you're dealing with.
Yeah. I know a lot of lenders out there they'll take a credit report, not necessarily check your FICO score. They don't care. They actually want to see what your borrowing patterns are, what
Yes.
kind of debt you owe, things like that.
But it also what kind of person you are. And usually if you've been in court and you've been sued or suing people and all that, and it's maybe even due to real estate, which I found out on this later, that would have stopped me in my tracks. So I'm saying you do a little bit more checking out in these areas that you're not thinking about, not only money and credit scores, but how they are. So anyway, we went along, and when I got my first check in the form of 2 money orders, I said to myself, this isn't going to go well. Because that's not the normal way you get paid.
Right.
It's usually a check from a business account.
Sure.
Or something. And money orders, people hide that way.
Right.
So I got my second check all right, and I said, well, I'm still a little worried, but I got the next one. I got my third one the same way. Okay. Fourth one, phone call, we can't pay. I said, ooh, I knew it wasn't going to go well. And the stuff that was supposed to be getting done with this money wasn't getting done.
Right.
Nothing was happening. It was a disaster and a state of disaster. And so upon going up and having a meeting, I saw that nothing was getting done. Now they can't pay. And I thought, well, I hate it when banks foreclose on people.
Right.
Why don't they give them a little break? Maybe that's just what they need instead of just doing it the way they do it. So I decided to make a little agreement that I wrote up and give them a little break.
Okay.
Well, it took a while. I thought everything was fine. And the way I wrote this agreement, I shouldn't have. I should have gone to a lawyer if I really wanted to do that. But what I really should have done was foreclosed.
Right.
Because that's normal course of business. I'm sorry.
Right.
This is a business. I was trying to be nice. And so that being said, I made a little agreement. We were supposed to go ahead and do some things. And these people were living there. And they were living there borrowing electricity from next door to boot. So I had a lot of red flags going on. And so we finally, over a period of about 9 months or so, I invested money into fixing it up and all that while they were still staying there. Then it came time to sell. And so we said, you're going to have to move out because we have to clean up the room you're in and we have to have this place ready to sell. And it was part of what I thought was our verbal agreement. They didn't want to move out. So we went to court. Tried to get an order to move out. They started fighting back. And by the time they got out, they had destroyed a lot of the place inside. One of the rooms had animals in it and dogs, and they actually put cats in the house to go potty all over the floor just because they were nasty.
That was the purpose.
And the garbage was 3 feet tall in part of it. So finally, after going around and around in court, we got him out. Had to go in and clean that mess up and go on from there.
A second time.
Yes. And then we got sued because they said that we tried to trick them or whatever, and we didn't.
Right.
I mean, I don't believe in that. But here comes the suit, and you got to answer it. And of course, as soon as you get involved with a lawyer, their job is to get as much money out of you as they can. So it's, give us this down and we'll take care of it. Well, it didn't quite get taken care of as it should.
Right.
And that's why when it dragged on, and then they put a Liz Pendants on the house because it was real estate related lending and suit and all that.
Yep.
And they can stop you from doing anything on that house till that thing is done.
Yep, you're not selling, you're not borrowing, you're not doing anything with that property.
And I was told, get that thing sold before they put the Les Pendants, because they were kind of doing their own little suit with a little help from a lawyer at first. But given enough time, they found a lawyer who was able to take the case on contingency.
A smart lawyer.
Yes. And the first thing he did was that Liz Pendants, and it was still in my name. So in going through the middle of this, next thing I should have done is got it sold off or handed off or done something. Not saying that I shouldn't have even started this.
Right.
So finally, we had to make an agreement with them in court, and with a what do they call that when you get together and try to hash it out without going mediation. And I had to give them a ton of money to get rid of them, so I could free it up and sell it.
Yep.
And then, being this was up in the upper desert, it was right on the golf course, and it was a strange house, but it was a nice location considering what you have up there.
Yeah, nice neighborhood.
Yes. And it took a little while to sell it. And money is running out, and we still had to do a few things. One other aside, I should say that when you're involved with a house, especially if you're flipping it, make darn sure that the septic tank isn't located in the garage. Because they will get you for that. You can't.
Right.
This was outside of the garage at one time. They built the garage right over it. Don't ask me how they got away with it. And there it sat till we were going to sell, and the other real estate brokers called in an inspector who said, you can't do that. So you have to allow them the money or fix it and put in a new one outside.
Or get them to agree to accept it as is.
Yes, but they'd have to worry about it when they sold it.
Right.
So they wouldn't do that. They said that was another $6,000, and we got away cheap in comparison to what you could pay for septic tanks.
Yep.
So, have your own inspection when you're going in. Look for things like that, like a septic tank and some other odds and ends that I don't even want to get into here. But you've really got to know what you're doing or have good advice on what you're doing when you're going into this.
Sure.
Now, a contractor usually has a lot more knowledge than we were because we were lending money. We weren't trying to be the contractor.
Right.
We just became the accidental flipper. So anyway, long story short, a lot of money got lost in the transaction. We made money on the house. We lost money with the lawyer and all the waiting and going around and around.
Yeah, and that you got a Harvard education in.
It was very expensive.
Very expensive.
So I say to people, and especially when you're having your meetings every third Wednesday of the month.
Fourth Wednesday,
Fourth
actually.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
excuse me. Duh. Anyway, when you're having...
Is that why you didn't come? No. You came the third Wednesday, not the fourth?
Yeah, and he says, where is everybody?
Where is everybody?
We missed it.
But anyway, when you have the meeting, that if people come to that meeting, meet other people that are in the business, learn what your special guests are saying, and ask some questions, then they can get some answers if they want to get into this flipping game or what have you. And get some education before it gets very costly.
Absolutely. And, with real estate, you have very large numbers you're dealing with. So the amount of people that come into real estate looking to, pilfer it in some sort of way, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of things you can do to avoid those people. You mentioned getting an inspection done prior to doing a deal. I think that's I tell people to do it all the time.
Yes.
Because it's if you're not an expert property inspector, you hire an expert to do it. It costs you a few bucks. But it's worth it because in the end you're going to avoid losing that money.
Well, more than that, when I loaned the money, we did have an inspector come in, and he missed the air conditioning. He marked that it was there. So while you're going down those check boxes and the inspector says, oh, I did this and it's all kosher, you've got to use your own head a little bit and go box by box and say, does that sound right? Does that sound... And not maybe, but do your own little inspection.
Absolutely.
Especially with air conditioning. There was none there. It was gone. It was supposed to be there, then it was supposed to be in boxes ready to be installed. That's what we think happened. It was there, possibly when the inspector went there, in boxes ready to be installed, and then it was sold off, on the side.
I've seen that happen.
Really?
It's happened to me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, things have a tendency of growing feet and legs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And what I learned about this, when you have the appliances, whatever, coming into the property, right? When they come in, make sure that everything else is done and the inspection is done. Get everything in there, your air conditioner, your heater, whatever it is, right? Then go in and take photographs immediately after.
Of course.
On that photograph, write the date when it was installed.
Yeah.
And then when the inspector comes in to check, have his paperwork attached to these photographs.
Yep.
And that's how you're going to cover. And like Rich said, when we went back, it was gone.
Well, the beautiful
Now-
thing is smartphones now, they have these geolocation tags that
Yes.
get saved
Yes.
within your phone. So the image actually gets saved with the location of it. So an insurance company can now see this was taken within the property. It's already date stamped, and that's dated and stamped by the cell phone provider. It's not from your phone's internal clock. So
Once upon a
Right.
time, you would have held up a newspaper with a date in the picture. This way it's automatic. But this is a situation where we were the lender and didn't want to be the flipper, but became the flipper.
Yep.
But if we were the flipper, we'd be on the other side, of course, right away. We'd be borrowing the money, and the lender would have to be the one that acted like us and watch what they're doing.
Right.
So if I'm going to be the lender, I have to check all these boxes and watch everything that's going on. And I would rather make sure that I'm lending the money to a contractor type who's not trying to live there on the side and who's done more than one house. The loan before that was to a guy that had done 18 flips
That's pretty.
and borrowed money or whatever. And he did a good job. I went as far as going on Google Earth and checking where he lived to
Yeah.
see if the trucks were parked in the lot. And he had a big 1-acre property.
Yeah.
He was a real contractor. He'd done a lot of flips. We went to one of his other ones before this. We talked to the man directly. So we were really conscious and skipped some of that on this. So you really have to do your due diligence and be on top of it.
It's sometimes it's bad when your only client is a really good client because you forget how much you're supposed to be doing,
Yes.
and when you have this contractor or this whoever the case may be, and they're doing such a fantastic job that you don't have to really pay that much attention to them, then you hire some new person and you're treating them like you treated that last guy.
Yes, and I was just going to say that if you're the flipper and you're going in there and doing it, or responsible as the flipper, and you're going to hire your contractors, it takes a little while unless you have access to other people that point you to good contractors. You have to find some guys, and it took us a little while. We didn't have anybody say, use this guy, this guy. We were up there in the desert all by ourselves, and one way or another, we bumped into some people locally who were reasonable, did a heck of a good job. We did get lucky there. And then, we had an electrician who was a retired fellow, but he had his license and all that.
Yeah.
We had a plumber the same way. We had another guy that he was working a day job in the field, but he did a few things for us at night. And we found a good plumber because there's an awful lot of people out there take advantage of you. They charge you through the nose. They don't do a good job. We had a blockage in the sewer. We went in the phone book, found a local guy, plumber. They came out. This guy put a snake down and said, "Oh, I think you got a blockage down there." He said, "I think I could free it." He goes up on the roof into the vent to the drainage system, puts a hose up there, turns it on full blast to clear this blockage. Well, the water didn't clear the blockage. It simply came out the toilet in the bathroom and flooded the whole bathroom. And I'm going, what?
Yeah.
How did you learn how to do this? So, and in fact, we didn't pay him. We told him, get out of here. And he didn't even try to get paid. We got the next guy in who was smart, and he said, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
He got his little electric little
the snake thing,
and blocked it out of the right way. And he says, boy, we had like 60, 70 feet to go, 80 feet. He said, this is going a long way.
Yeah.
Finally, it hit the tank and came out. But he wasn't putting a hose down on the roof. And, you know.
The amount of pressure you're going to generate from the amount of water that you can run down that hose.
Oh, when it came out, good night. So when we're trying to be not only the flipper but the contractor, so to speak, because we're hiring the subs and we're just learning this, boy, you better have your hat on and your brain engaged. And you got to think and ask. And it's just, it takes a little time to learn that.
Yeah, there's a learning curve, and there's a reason why investors usually pay a lot less to contractors, plumbers, electricians, things like that. It's because they're on them all the time. If you want the convenience of not having to be on your contractor all the time, you pay for that. You pay for that level of confidence and safety and security.
You'd hire a lead contractor and he'd get all the subs.
Generally, yeah.
But if you want to cut him out and you're going to be that, you better know a little bit about what you're doing or learn in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, and expect to be on the job site every day.
And then the other thing that everybody should do, and they should know this even before they get started, anything with real estate, when you have to have your contractors and your plumbers, electricians, on and on and on and on, you talk to them, you get a feeling of them, right? First thing, go to the neighbors. A lot of people don't think this. Go to the neighbors and say, hey, do you know Joe Baloney, the plumber guy? You know, what is it? And then talk to them and see what the neighbors have to say. And they say, no, I didn't use him, but so-and-so did.
Yeah.
Go and talk to that so-and-so, right? And it takes time, but it's worth it. And then also go to the city and double-check that they are licensed. A lot of people say, oh, it's a plumber, they have their own business, they're licensed. Wrong.
Yeah.
Just take the extra time. Have a nice lunch, have your flip-flops on, like the flip-flops investors, right, jeans, whatever, and have some lunch and take one day, go right down this whole list, right, and do it all. And then go into City Hall, see if they ever got sued. All of this. Do your homework, because the more homework you do, the better and faster this project is going to go on. But some people just don't do that.
When you try to be also your own contractor, you better know a little bit about the different trades involved. If you're going to have somebody come in, every once in a while you have this thing where you say, maybe I can hire a guy that doesn't have a license because I can get him cheaper. He'll come in and do a little work for me. But if you really got to watch him, you better know what he's supposed to do. And it gets a little problematic.
Yeah. A good buddy of mine, he's worked for the same flooring company for 15 years. But he does all their installs. He even does some of their estimates and things for them. So he's somebody I can hire who's not licensed, but I can hire him, and I'm confident in his ability. He's done several of my properties.
And flooring is a little safer than electrical or plumbing, especially electrical. That can really get you.
But plumbing,
you'll get electrocuted.
Yeah, or drown, or have water coming out of your toilet.
Well, one thing that we really found is when we did this, because it took us so long, we did find some good people who we would have used again. But I see now that and this is slightly jumping to a different subject, the market is changing from the easy flipping and you can make money. It's getting much harder today to get those deals and get them through. Unless it's like you guys that
we're not having a problem, but hey,
you put your flip-flops on and you're making a buck.
Maybe we ought to get him a pair of flip-flops.
Maybe we got to change your wardrobe, Rich, and we'll,
I would love that. Do it, please.
I just don't understand why I'm required when I get to the meeting on the 4th Wednesday of the month that I must change my shoes and put flip-flops on.
You don't have to.
That?
It's mandatory.
There's no requirement. In fact, very few people wear flip-flops to the meeting. I'm the only nut job in the place that wears them pretty much all the time.
Well, when the weather gets warmer and, we change our wardrobe, that's what I'll be having on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Since we're talking about it and you keep bringing it up, I might as well say that we do have a local the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
Yes.
And as we've said now a couple times, the meeting is on the 4th Wednesday of every month. That would be this month. It would be February 22nd. We do it at the Mission Inn every month, which is a very nice place to go. The 22nd, we open the doors at 6:30. Meeting starts at 7. pretty much people will network around, get to know other real estate investors. We had a pretty big turnout last month. We had,
Oh, yes.
what, about 170 people there?
Yeah, I
or
think
so?
there were, I saw it on the web, 170, 190 or something like that.
Yeah, we had like 200 something RSVPs, but only about
Right.
170 of them ended up showing up,
Which is very good.
Yeah, it's great. So
You know what I like about what you're doing there? You're not trying to sell anything.
you know, so there's these programs on TV,
Oh, God.
the flip flop people and all those, you know, and they have these seminars that they put on. They're actually not put on by them; they're licensed. There's a whole series. There's a whole backstory
Yes.
there, but the people that do those shows, they use their name and they do these seminars and they teach people how to invest in real estate. And it's a sales funnel. It starts out as a free meeting. You know, you come to for free and they give you
Yep.
some information and they sell you into the next thing, which is the 3-day seminar in Vegas
Yes.
or wherever the case may be for a few $100. And then when you're at that thing, they sell you on, okay, here's the book. This is the book you need. It's $3,000 or something. And then there's also this mentorship thing, which is you get somebody to talk to you and walk you through each deal. And, you know, it's going to be anywhere from, I've heard numbers from $25,000 to $80,000.
And I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And I would never go that way. It's like watching these shows on TV, you know, flip this house and that house and this, whatever. And I'm going, wait a minute. He bought that house for how much? He sold it for, he bought it for $100,000. He put 20 in, that's 120. He sold it for 150. He made 30,000. No, he didn't.
Right.
What about all the fees and everything else that's required?
You paid a real estate agent 5-6%.
They
you know?
forget that.
Yeah.
And so when I'm adding up, I'm going, he just lost money. But you know how he made money? He's got a TV show.
How convenient.
Well, why, if he's making
Isn't
some
it,
money
though?
flipping, why don't he just go flip houses and don't do a TV show? He's
Yeah.
selling the show for $1 trillion, but he's losing money flipping.
Either that or he's doing it for free.
Yes. And so over the years, we've went to some of these seminars, and listening carefully right up front, I said, oh, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Because they'll take you so far and not tell you anything.
Right.
And it's all baloney.
Of course.
And I could tell that's how they were making their money. And so I really never got that far. And when I got into this, I just did it on whatever I thought I knew.
Yeah.
And then the good thing that happened with this disaster was I bumped into you guys. And if I had to do this over again, I would be going to that meeting and doing the networking, asking people questions, seeing what your people have to say. And I'm not trying to be a salesman for the meeting, but
And I'm not asking you to be.
Wait a minute, I thought you were going to pay me under the table.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. I mean, hey.
But you go to the meeting, you meet people, you listen to the people you have as guests, and you really learn something. Nobody's trying to say, you know, buy my book later. And you have to meet people in the industry, make your connections and
Yeah.
what have you. And it is getting harder to do the flipping. I really
Sure.
believe that.
I mean, you know, it's hard to get in because
Yes.
it seems easy, and I know we've been accused of making it look easy because
Right.
it's easy for us. We've done it so many times now that it's not complicated. It's a systematic thing for us, and we have our rules in place that we don't break.
Oh.
You know, which is tough sometimes because we have clients, people we've worked with a lot of times, and you know, the same rules apply today as they did on day one. We have to keep to our program because we don't want to get lax at any point on any step in the path
Because you'll get burned.
it happens. You know, it's happened before. That's kind of why these rules now exist. You know, like our lease agreement started out as a couple paragraphs. You know, and it's grown into several pages because over time you realize, okay, I guess I can't have, you know, certain dog breeds there because the insurance won't. You know, I'll get my insurance canceled. So you have to start adding these different things over time.
You
and
learn as you
eventually-
go.
Yep, you got to cover all kinds of different contingencies.
Eventualities.
Yep.
That's how contracts get to be 10,000 words because that's the way the law is and that's the way the courts are, and you have to cover yourself.
And we talked about foreclosure before, which is really a lender's only recourse, you know, in California for non-payment of a mortgage. They need to be able to take that property and sell it to get their money back.
And you hope you never have to do it because it's not easy. And
No.
people can drive you up a wall and drag you out on it.
Yeah,
Even
and-
when you're doing it right.
And the you know, and this might be kind of an unpopular opinion, but this most recent recession we had, the banks ended up modifying a lot of loans.
Yes.
Instead of just going through the foreclosure process. And we could argue about how bad that would have been to the economy to just foreclose on everybody. But now we've set a new precedent where banks now are sort of expected to modify or
Yes.
renegotiate a mortgage when it goes into default, which I don't know what that's going to do to the economy. We'll find out. But I think the next recession that comes, even though I don't think that's happening anytime soon, the next recession that does come, I think it's going to be an expectation of lenders to modify loans before they go for the foreclosure.
I think if lenders get inundated with too many loans, they would want to modify some because they just can't work the foreclose on all of them.
Mhm.
They're hoping some of them kind of slip back into a good paying person.
Right.
And there's people that do. There's
Sure.
people that make it. There's other people that really should just get out and give them the keys and go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Especially in that recession where they were underwater and what have you.
Yeah.
The person that owns a house, his choice is financially to say, I'm $100,000 under, so how could I ever get back?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they just feel that they want to live in that place till they die because they love it that much and tenaciously hold on, maybe it's better to walk away and start over again.
Yeah. Usually it ends up working out better for them in the long run.
Yes.
If they to just get away from that problem.
Especially if they're behind, their credit score is going down, now they can't hardly do anything else. It's better to cut that thing down, rebuild their credit, and get ready for when things come back. Of
Right.
course, that's to do with timing and everything else.
Of course.
I don't feel either like we're going into another recession. I feel that even though we feel like, with stocks at 20 times earnings plus, where's that got to go? But if their profits go up, then the times earnings will actually go down, and
Mhm.
that'll look better.
Right.
And we're seeing now with Trump hopefully doing some of the things he says he's going to do, we will see that the banks make more money. Interest rates will tend to go up just a little bit. I don't think they're going to go up very far.
Yeah, it may take a while, yeah.
This world is not structured that way right now. We
No.
don't have that luxury. And so I think if you're going to buy a house, now is as good a time as any.
I agree. Rates are low. I mean,
Rates are still low.
Historically, if you look at a chart going back, I mean,
I remember paying 18%.
like in the 80s,
everybody.
early 80s, yeah.
And I don't think that'll happen again.
Hey, you never know.
But you never know.
You almost got to hope it would, because that means our economy is doing phenomenally well.
No, it means we've got tremendous inflation.
Inflation, sure, and the
Now,
Fed's trying to prevent it.
With the baby boom generation retiring at $10,000 a day,
Mm-hmm.
these people are scaling down. They're not spending the money anymore. They're not buying the furniture and furnishing the houses. They don't have the kids and the families. They're all gotten older. That's holding things back. That's changing things.
Yeah.
But it's also making it cheaper to borrow when we are buying a house.
True.
So
Yeah.
one thing kind of helps with the other.
They always sort of balance each other out, because
Yes.
people tend to, spend everything they have and then some every single
yeah.
month.
Oh, that's normal. That's with anything.
Yeah. Well, let's
You
what?
know?
Since we're talking about spending money now, I think we should get the money spender involved in
Oh,
the
yes.
conversation a little bit.
Okay.
We should
what
talk
i-
about shopping.
Yes.
So I guess shifting gears completely, we're just going to take a complete 180 here. Thank you, Rich, for talking about
Yes,
the
yes.
flop. You learn so much more from the flops than you do the flips. You're a genius when the flips are happening
I
and you're
can
making money. But when the flops happen, you're like,
Oh.
okay, I screwed up big
I
time.
can tell anybody everything not to do.
He could write a book and make a fortune if he sold the book
think
for
I will.
$1.95.
You'll have to find another show to promote it on, though. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
We're not selling anything
We don't
here.
sell anything here. so-
Well, the thing is, before we go on with the shopping, on the female point of view, and whoever, the two guys, two girls, whomever, right?
Sure.
The thing is, that extra person always have to be 2 steps ahead of the partner that they are dealing with.
Meaning?
Always.
You mean like the
Meaning-
wife 2 steps ahead of the husband?
Yeah.
You're 2 steps ahead of this conversation
Right.
already. I don't even know what you're talking
Okay,
about. No.
what they got to do, right? And I've been around and seen different people in my families and a lot of good friends that made humongous mistakes. And they go, "Why do I do that?" I says, "Because you didn't shut your mouth and listen."
Right.
Right? The thing is, some people get it into their head where they know what they're doing. Okay, fine, go do.
Sure.
And then when they start falling down, right? And everybody falls down. All of us did somewhere through our lives. And the more you fall down, the better you get. The stronger you stand. right? That's how it is. All right. But when you guys are out there, and if it's a condo or a house, a trailer, a TP, whatever that you want to get involved in, like I was saying before, and the boys were saying before, do your homework. I'm always preaching this on everything. Take the time, do your homework. And if something sounds too good to be true, guess what? It's too good to be true.
Sure.
Forget about it. Move on. And don't be afraid to ask questions. As silly as it may seem, ask that question. And you may go, well, asking that question just got this answer. I just saved $10,000. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just because you know people in the business, don't think that you can jump right in. Do your homework, guys. Take your time. And if something doesn't look right, move on down the road, because there's always that other house, TP, trailer, whatever it is. And something better is going to fit you.
Yeah.
And then be happy.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it's funny because not just asking the right questions, but sometimes, like when we're looking at materials, you might find they got this great wood that we're looking to purchase for flooring or something like that, and you say this is great, but then you ask the salesman, like, okay, everything looks good. This is actually a great price. Everything's good. But is this the best you could do?
You got it.
Is this the best?
Always ask for a discount. Always.
I always do that, because when it came with all the flips and everything else, you learned very quickly. And I'm lucky. I took after my mother, my two aunties, and my grandma, right? I learned how to wheel and deal. Right?
Yeah.
It's a George thing,
Yeah.
But that's what we do. Well, anyways, when we're out there picking out the colors and this and that, the best thing to do, even to your own homes, keep the color at a basic.
Oh, yeah.
You take three colors only, and you run them colors through your whole house. You can mix and match your patterns for your pillows or your bedspreads or your towels, whatever it is, right? And if you keep the three colors, and the best three for any size house, right? Do a lovely beige. You can put any color, any design with a beige. It never goes out of style. All
Very
right?
true.
A lovely green. They proved green is a very calming color.
Yeah.
And now what they've been doing they realize you don't have to have blue or pink in the baby's, the nursery.
Right.
Do a calm color so when the little one starts growing up, that color can stay with them, for a number of years until they get to be a teenager. Then you shut the door and you say, forget about it. I don't want to see it, right? And then also stay away from white. All whites.
I hate white.
Stay away from whites. That is a very starch, cold feeling.
That's the late 1990s.
Yes.
We looked at a house yesterday. There was white tile, white kitchen countertops, white walls, with that honey oak cabinets.
Was there a subway train there somewhere with the white? How subway tile is always white.
They didn't actually have subway. That would actually have been a modern touch. It would have been kind of nice, but no, they didn't.
Do you have, I have to break in and ask a question. When you do a flip, do you have certain things where you concentrate your efforts and money and design on in the house to make it saleable and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, but you got to figure your marketing from the moment they pull up in the vehicle. When they're coming down the neighborhood, you might even instruct the agent on a direction to take from the street. To always take your clients this direction, just because that's the nicer way to go. When you go this other way, you're going to drive by some rundown looking property.
Yeah.
You might even instruct as far as back as other people's houses.
Right.
But then, you're talking about curb appeal. Pulling up, what do you want them to see? You want to point out the features of the home. So, bringing some color to the doorway if you have something nice or some kind of feature. Anything you've basically spent money on a flip, you want people to notice it. Especially if you're trying to attract a buyer. And then once you walk in, grand entryways are always great, chandeliers.
Flowers.
Yeah, you
plants.
can do flowers, even the smells. A lot of agents used to cook cookies in the home when they would show them.
Yes.
So they would have that homey kind of scent. We used to buy these things you could put on your air conditioning filter that would put the scent throughout the house. Like vanilla, you can do floral. There's a lot of different things you can do. But, people always say kitchens and bathrooms sell houses, and that's true. But everything about a house sells the house. Anything about a house could turn a potential buyer off. So if you decide not to do anything with that rock fireplace, you just want to spray it white, that's a bad decision because
Uh-huh.
that could turn people off. You'd probably be better off keeping the rock and having the natural stone and making that work with the design of the house because it comes from a certain era. People like some stuff from the from the mid-century, with those rocks and those earth tones. So,
Yeah. What about the backyard?
Backyards.
How important is that? I'm jumping over Bev here, but I had to finish this
Don't
question.
go to backyard. Don't go there.
Backyards are kind of a blank canvas we look at, so it's sort of just clean it up, make it look nice. A lot of times, unless it's a really high-end neighborhood, it's kind of a blank canvas for the homeowner to let them do what they want to do. But
Well, I'm glad you said that.
One thing we've been doing to spruce up a little bit is maybe put a little like a garden in the back that already has mature plants because you can buy these at Home Depot. Have some tomatoes growing, something like that, because it gives people the idea, like, oh, I could garden back here and have my own fresh vegetables, whatever. So it's something nice and it's cheap.
Well, the simplest thing to do for the builder, the contractor, the people that are going in and flipping the house, whatever it is, walk through the property, right? First of all, in the neighborhood. That's very important. And go different times during the day and different days of the week. And then you're going to get a feeling. During the week when everybody's working, it's quiet, it's clean, everybody's nicey-nicey. You don't know what they're doing on the weekends, right?
Yeah.
So go and check with the police department. How many cops had to come over here, blah, blah, blah. Do that, right? But when you walk through the front door of that house, that condo, whatever it is, picture yourself living in that house. What makes you get that homey, fuzzy feeling that we all like when we walk into a piece of property, right? Then run with that idea.
Yeah.
That's the simplest way. Don't say, oh, well, the style is the antique cabinets in the kitchen, which I love. I love the antique cabinets.
Sure.
And I love to see the glass in the cabinet doors. It makes a room look bigger. They look brighter, and and then have the little lights inside. So when you open up the door, the lights show up. Or in the evening, you can take one of the little lights and turn them on, and you got a night light.
Yeah.
Little things like this. Think outside the box. What makes you happy? And I'll tell you, the two best people, best out of everybody, to take to look at a piece of property, your mom and your Grammy, or your auntie.
Okay.
All right? They lived how many houses, how many condos, whatever.
Sure.
Take them and say, okay, Mom, Grammy, what do you see?
That's a fantastic idea to bring people with you. If Mom and Grammy aren't around anymore, you could always bring you could always bring somebody that's bought homes before and has lived in homes because you find the first time home buyer is a very different client than the second time home buyer.
Yeah.
The person that's buying the second, because when you're a first time home buyer, you're idealistic. You think I'm going to have all this time to build these new cabinets and do all these fancy things.
You're very uninformed.
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into when you're doing that. But when you buy your second home, you're like, I don't want to have to do anything the moment I walk into this
Turnkey.
house. I want it turnkey.
The other
Right, and
the other
then-
thing
wait,
is,
wait,
go
hang
ahead.
on. And the other thing too, one of my very close girlfriend is Tony, and she owns Decorating Den.
Okay. Where's that located?
It's in Redlands,
Okay.
right over there on 4th.
Okay.
Right? Lovely place. And she's been in the business for years and years and years. And she does the Douglas blinds and all of this,
sure.
right? And she goes all over the world to I mean, she's a terrific lady. And also she's Sicilian, so that makes it easy, right? But also, if you know someone that is a good designer that you trust and you respect their opinion, bring that person or two people in with you. Because everybody's going to see something that the other person overlooked.
Right.
So do that. And again, stay with your basic colors. Don't go wacky,
No.
right? And don't say, oh, gee, I seen this picture in a photograph in a magazine. Well, they had professional designers doing that.
Right.
Now, if you see, and I've done this a couple of times, and it really helps. If you go through the magazines, newspapers, different ads, you see something that you like, cut the picture out and have it blowing up a little bit. and tape it into the kitchen or the bedroom or the bathroom or your office or whatever it is. Go back 2 or 3 different times during the day on different days and take a look. And if you still like it, then go with that idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's good advice, too.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, is when it comes to fireplaces, the simpler, the better.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody that we know, and especially myself, you like the big mantles on the fireplaces.
That's what I was going to say, big mantles.
So during the holidays or whatever day it is, you want to put your nicky-nacky or whatever up
Sure.
there. You have the room for it.
Those little pinwheels that they fall apart, you have
Yeah.
to put the candles underneath them.
Yes, I
know.
hate those things. I had 2 of them, and they were given away immediately. But all of these things, this is what you're going to do. And here's another idea, and it works. All right, now you want to talk about designs. If you have children, and if the child is 4 years or older, where he or she can understand the question, ask that child or that young adult, this is going to be your bedroom. What would you like?
Mm-hmm.
Because the more happier they are in that bedroom, believe it or not, the better they behave.
Yeah.
And when they have to go and do their homework in their room, or they're on timeout, or whatever it is, and do that. You know, and all of these things, a lot of people don't think about. They look in, and when you're ready to sell your house, this is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
The big number one rule: remove all of your personal items. Your family pictures and the dog and the cat and the orangutan. Get all of that out of there. Because when people come, they don't want to see your family treasures or your
Right.
photographs or the orangutan. They want to picture that area as theirs.
Right.
Where can they put their sofa or the rocking chair or whatever? I'm almost done. Don't do that. And all of these things. That's what you got to do, right? And again, good smells of flowers or good herb or cookies or pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie's the best. Oh, yeah. Do that. Have a nice little platter on the counter, right? Have some water, some bottled waters, in some paper cups for them or plastic cups. If they get thirsty, they can take this bottled water with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But when you're a flipper, that's up to the real estate person to control some of that.
Even the flipper can do that.
Well, you're not going to be there normally unless you want to
You
sell.
should be there.
If you're the real estate person. The other thing I found out.
That's why we hire real estate agents. We
Right.
don't. I don't show
Okay.
the houses ever.
Yes.
We hire an agent for that because that's their job. Their job is to market it. We can always make suggestions
Yes.
to them, but
And they
I don't want to step on their toes either.
Well, you know why, real quick, they should be there, the flipper, the first time. Hear the response of what people are saying or feeling about that piece of property. You may hear something and put it in your memory bank for the next time around. You didn't go, I didn't think about that, but hot diggity dog.
So-
write a little note or something.
Well, we have a good method for this. Sorry, Rich. Didn't mean to cut you off.
What's a good method?
We have so there's these cameras put out by a company called Arlo.
Yes.
And Arlo will record the audio and video from inside the home. It's our home. We're allowed to put cameras inside. And they're very conspicuous. We always make sure they're known that they're there. And you put up a little sign that says video in progress. So that way people know that they're going to be there. But people will talk about the house, and we can sit there and review what people do on the showings.
Helps you.
It helps us because we found out recently we have a place in Palm Springs that we're selling, and people were saying there's no electrical outlet for the refrigerator. This is an oversight by us. We completely forgot to put an outlet behind the refrigerator space because we moved where the refrigerator goes. And so we're like, oh, we really need to get that there now.
And a water line for the water.
That we
ice
had.
maker. Yeah.
That we had.
You know,
We
the
just
other thing
forgot about the electrical outlet, and people walking through noticed it. I was actually kind of shocked. Like, we didn't see
Yeah.
it, and we'd walked through the house prior to calling it done. Nobody called it out on our team.
Wow.
Wasn't until some people walked through and noticed it was not there, and they said, "Where am I going to plug my refrigerator?" And so
The other thing I'd be watching if I expected any Chinese Oriental buyers, the Feng Shui, to be aware of that and how
Yes.
they're worried about that. The stairs pointing right out the front door. They don't like that.
don't like that. Nope.
So why make it harder to sell a house?
Yeah.
If you're into that market, expect that.
Yeah, and that place in Palm Springs that came up as an
It
issue
did.
because we have a French door. If you walk in the front door, you can walk straight out some French doors. So we already knew that we were not going to probably get a buyer that really wanted that feng shui, because that you don't want money going through the house.
Through the house, right?
You know, and that's a big deal. So that's design stuff. People, you know, we hire designers for that kind of thing, and we knew going in we can't really change the house.
Sure.
You know, and we're not going to put a wall there.
Sure.
Because it didn't make sense for the rest of the house to have a wall in front
But
of you.
you'd know why some of those buyers weren't going to buy.
Yep.
One of the things we wound up doing before and with the real estate people is I did research on the net of all the other houses that were in the neighborhood for sale. And we were in this so long that month after month I would go on Zillow, where they show all the pictures, actually download the address of the house, what they were asking, what pictures of what it looked like, and put them on a file on my own computer. I had 100 houses.
Wow.
By the time we were done, just because we were there too long.
Sure.
But what it did for me was gave me an idea of where I should start the price, not only from what the real estate person says, because they could have their own reasons for giving you a price, but I wanted to kind of figure out what was selling, what it looked like, and why it was selling or wasn't selling. So I kept up that way by knowing the whole neighborhood and what sold for, and finally marking down what it sold for in my own little file.
Yeah.
But I had the time to do this. I was the guy that, you know, you guys are doing so many, you'd say, you got to be kidding me. I'm not going to hire somebody to do that. But knowing a little bit about what goes on in the neighborhood as you're trying to sell your house helps in many different ways.
Absolutely, yeah. Always walk through your neighbors' homes. Go check out open houses. We say go to new home construction because they have their models out there, the model homes.
Yes.
Walk through the model homes because they're decorating them for today's buyer.
And
you
they're
know,
fantastic.
they usually are, you know, and they have all the upgrades that they're trying to sell people in the new
Sure.
tract development. But, you know, the staging they put in, the furniture, all that stuff is there. That's the current design trends, you know, and get your ideas from
We
that.
did a little bit of staging. We wound up doing that.
Yeah, I remember, yeah, there's furniture in there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean,
As much as you need, you know, you don't have to go out like that. You can, like, we've done stuff as simple as putting towels on the towel rack, you know, and a little
Sure.
vase on the countertop, you know,
Yes.
very minimal. We have a
Yes.
place in Big Bear, that's what we did.
And
Very minimal.
It depends on what neighborhood you're looking at.
Right.
And what age group do you want to attract to get them into that home or that condo to buy? That's that's what you got to think of. And real quick, I want to say one more thing, and then I will let you close your
yeah.
show. And thank you for having us. This
Of
has been
course.
fun. All right, recap. Do your homework on everything and everybody. Number one. Number two, don't think, oh, it's such a price. Whatever, let's say it's $19.95, you better triple that. And then have a triple amount back you up. Rule of thumb with the money,
Sure.
right? When you go to stage it, very clear, very clean, be happy. Check the schools, the neighborhoods, the police departments, the PTA, the fire department. Check all of this.
Sure.
Right? And what I did in all the homes is I found out where's the nearest school, the easiest way to get there back and forth, where the fire department was, how many minutes, the police department, the hospitals, and all of this,
Sure.
right? Do all your homework, and then you're going to go, now let's go shopping.
Yeah.
With Bev,
Yeah.
I'll help you.
There you go. And for those of you that don't know, Bev has a show on KCAA here. That is the Let's Go Shopping show. That's on Wednesdays.
Yes.
What
yes.
time is that? Is it 2?
From 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
Yeah, and you're going to be on in a couple of weeks because there's a person that's going to be on the show that I want you to jibber jab with.
Okay. I love jibber jabbing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are running a little short on time. I'm getting he's either telling me, 2. We got 2 minutes.
He's giving
Wow.
you
He
two
gave you the
fingers.
two
You showed me the
fingers.
peace sign. I wasn't sure.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Hey.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, how did he get the peace sign? And yesterday I got the one finger. What's up with this?
Well, see, I hold up the peace sign for 2 minutes and then the finger for 1.
Oh, okay.
We wouldn't
Makes
have known
sense.
that if you didn't tell us.
Okay. And Brandon, thank you again for another good day of broadcasting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brandon.
No
Yes.
problem.
Okay, so to wrap up, for those of you that are interested in investing in real estate here in the Inland Empire or anywhere else, I guess, and if you have time, come on out to the Mission Inn on the 4th Wednesday of this month. That would be on February 22nd. That's at 6:30 p.m. at the Mission Inn in Riverside. We also do some other meetups during the month. We've already done one of them, and 2 of them we haven't scheduled yet, actually, so we don't have dates. Well,
Go on your website.
yeah, you can go on meetup.com, look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, or you can go on Google and just type in real estate investments Riverside. We'll probably come up as the first result.
Yes, you will.
We're first result on quite a few of those things. We do have a Saturday morning coffee that we do.
Oh yeah, them coffees are nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We come out the Saturday before the fourth Wednesday, so that would be since the fourth Wednesday is the 22nd. The Saturday morning coffee will be on the 18th. That's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning because it's got to be in the morning. I don't like to drink coffee too much in the afternoon, but we'll be that's 8 in the morning on Saturday the 18th, and we just network. It's networking. It's free. Just come on out.
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Absolutely. And that about does it for this week. We will see you all next Thursday at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA. Have a good week, everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3